Hello, hello, hello. It didn't take me as long to get ready as I thought. I was running late and I thought, oh no, I better change the time. But I was only 5 minutes late. Yay, Deb. So, hello, everybody. How are you? And it is very good to see you. Thank you for giving me another night. I got a headache last night, and it was funny because I was trying to work on the Triptych quilt, and I kept thinking, I just want to lay my head down. If I just laid my head down, I would feel better. And then I realized, oh, that's because of the Shingrix shot. I had heard that the second one can make you feel a little worse or give you a good old headache. So, but I'm feeling pretty good today. My tummy's a little off, but otherwise, I had 2 shots. Went Monday evening and got the Shingrix shot, and then got another COVID. So this is my 6th COVID shot. But I thought I was going to have to get it in the fall anyway. Might as well go ahead while I'm there. So I have something to show you. So yesterday when I had a headache, I was able to carefully, as long as I didn't get up and down, the headache felt better if I just kind of leaned back. But I was able to finish my flower. This is my blue dahlia. So I'm excited to get this finished. So today I was so excited. I went ahead and let me bring light over. I went ahead and stitched it down with invisible thread. You can see the thread on the back, but it is very hard to see on the front. But there are all the little tiny itty bitty pieces. I did it. Now, I have to be honest with something. I get a little bored following patterns, following the drawing that we did of it, trying to cut out all the little pieces. So when I got 2/3 of it done, I switched to just doing it by eye. So I'm sorry I didn't follow all the way through, but all those little pattern pieces make me crazy. So what I did is I would cut out the petal. I would put the sticky where that petal belonged, and then just cut little bits of fabric to finish off the pattern. Now, if you notice, I've got about 1/4 of an inch all the way around the flower. I decided that I was going to cut it loose, and then I'm going to applique, probably machine applique it to a background. I haven't even decided what background yet, but I'm going to applique it to a background. And then I'm going to do some thread painting. And I'm going to put a high loft batting so that when I can do some sewing around all the petals, I'll give it a little dimension. And then I'm going to finish it off with some beading. Yep, I sure am. I'm going to finish it off with some beading. So I think it looks pretty good. All things, I just felt like something fell down. But anyway, we are having an outbreak of these little millipedes. And they just love this basement. So I told Mark, I need him to spray down here because I don't like bugs. So anyway, but there it is. I really do like it. I've even thought, should I, it would be a pretty part of a center medallion for a quilt, or I could do a pillow with it, or I could do a small wall hanging with it. Does that sound good? So anyway, but I'm tickled. And then I showed you the pictures of my first strip set from the first strip set from the Bargello quilt. Well, I'll talk about that more in just a minute. So, because I put pictures on the website, and I mean that Bargello strip was trying to escape. It was going around the corner. So I took every other strip part apart. And that's tricky when you shorten the stitch length too. But I took every other strip apart and then sewed them back together going from the other end. So I'll show you that today. All right. Oh, I see Anne's here. Welcome here. Mary's here. I am feeling better. I tell you what, it really wasn't bad having the 2 shots. I was kind of getting cocky thinking, hey, those shots weren't anything. My arm was sore for 2 whole days, big whoopee. But I thought, I'm doing good, And then I said, my head feels heavy and stuffy. And Mark said, uh-oh, you're getting a migraine, I bet. And so by 6:00 or 6:30 last night, there was a pain going straight through my head. But anyway, I'm good and I missed y'all. So yay, great. Ooh, Mary is in a severe weather alert. Ooh, take good care, Mary. In fact, I don't know if she's still here. Boy, I hope she's okay. But anyway, let's see. Marcia, hi, sweetheart. You had a storm alert this morning. Wow. And Anne is here. I'm so excited with Anne. And Anne, if I didn't send you an invitation to our group SIO, I will later tonight when I get off of here. Meltem, oh, you sweetheart. It's cute how you say it's 2.5 in the night. The British say half, what do they say? Half of 2 or half of 3. And we say 2:30 since 30 is half of 60 minutes. So I love how we all say something slightly different. Very good. And I tell you what, you speak English much better than I speak Turkish. So way to go. All right. So Debbie's here. Hi. And Betty, another new one, Betty Meisner. In fact, Betty Meisner is actually joined our group, and I sent out a welcome Betty notice to her. So is Anne in Chicago? Betty's from Oregon. Oh, Oregon's beautiful. Okay, and Chicago, everything's happening in Chicago. I mean, it's rivaling New York now. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, Denise is here. How good to see Denise. Hi, Miss Polly. Have you gotten much rain? I went out and quickly I got in an order from Holland Bulb Company. And because my daughter brought me an amazing Asiatic lily, and I thought, I want to grow my own. So Holland Bulb Company is having a sale right now. So I jumped in and got some Asiatic bulbs, some gladiola bulbs, because I love cut flowers in the house. And then I noticed I was trying to get the amount to the free shipping because I'd rather spend more and get something for it than pay it just for shipping. So I added some really discounted 5-pack of hostas and an astilbe, which is so pretty. It's a white feather astilbe. So today it looked like, okay, it's getting ready to storm. Mark said he could hear the thunder. So I went out and I quickly planted these, came back in, 5 raindrops. So if it doesn't rain by the time that I'm done with this show, I've got to go water them. But I was real happy with my Holland Bulb Company order. Very, very happy. Okay, so it is Lisa's here. Yay. Lisa, just so you know, Lisa wrote me an email. I had 11 emails today in the Our Time box. I was so tickled. That's more than I've ever had in one day. Lisa asked, when are the shows? We're going to have a Jitsi. It's like Zoom. We're going to have a free class starting Monday, and it's Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. New York time to 5 p.m. New York time. We may run over a little bit. That's fine. I'm just at least giving you the basics. And you either have to be a member of our group so you can get the link, or let me know you're taking the classes. And if you let me know, then I will send you the link. So the link, send me an email to OurTimeToQuilt at twc.com. All right. So if you send me an email to that and say, I want to take your Bargello class, it's all free. I've got a free pattern for you. I've got free instructions. And in fact, are you ready? Tomorrow at noon, we're going to have another Jitsi practice run through. So like, Anne, if you'd like to be there, Betty will see it probably on the site. But Anne, send me an email again and say, I'd like to try out that Jitsi, and I will send you the link. The nicest thing about Jitsi is it's free, and they don't time you out, and we can all talk. No typing involved. It's really nice. It's a great format to teach a class. Now, I'm not going to put our class on YouTube. And I made that decision because I am comfortable and made the decision 5 years ago to start this channel. But I want to guard your privacy. You didn't decide to go worldwide on this format. So since we can see you and hear you, I've decided. In fact, tomorrow we're going to try to do the recording. And what I will do, anyone who wants the recording to the Bargello class, I will give you the link to the recording. I'll probably put it on a YouTube channel that's marked private. So only people who are given the link can see it. And that way, I just know, I respect your privacy. And everybody can relax and know you're with friends. You're not out there for the whole big world. Okay, everybody? So, oh, wow, you'll have company Monday. That's fine. And, since we will have it recorded, any day that you miss, no worry. I'll send you a link, or I'll make sure to put the link on our website. And our site is a free site. It's a groups IO that took place of Yahoo groups. And it just makes it real nice to get information back and forth to each other. Jitsi is difficult on some phones to access. Yes, it probably is. I was hoping you could get it on your tablet, Marcia. I don't know. But, I'm not real familiar with all of that. But that's why right now, if you belong to our Groups IO, you can go and see the link and click on it. And when we're ready to go tomorrow at 12 noon New York time, if you click on the link, then click join meeting, and it'll put you right through. So, okay. So, hey, there's our Jody. It's so good to see you. Oh, that's fine, Lisa. I totally understand. You're so busy. And don't worry, we'll have the other episodes recorded so you can see what you might have missed. All righty. So now that I know all of who's here, and thank you for being willing to meet with me. I was sitting there. I look like a poor puppy dog. And I was like, I just don't feel good. I just want to put my head down. Mark said, hon, cancel the show. And I did finally, I took some Tylenol, and because I can take Tylenol, I can't take Advil, but I took Tylenol. And I guess it was probably 10 o'clock, I started feeling very comfortable. So that was nice. And I should have realized that I'd have some reaction to my second Shingrix. But the good news is I've had all my pneumonia ones and my shingles ones. I'm doing good. So here is my resewn. Here is my resewn strip. Now, any of you who belong to our group's IO will know that I came in. I'm always honest with my boo-boos, my mistakes. I came in and put pictures of what happened. I was so proud, and we are going to get to the triptych in just a moment. But so this Bargello, I've got to have this done by Monday. So I will be getting to it. I might not clean the house this weekend. And you know what? So sorry. Oh, what a sad thing, not cleaning a house. So I re-sewed this because the other day when I sewed it, I had said, oh, I saw something about using a walking foot. It'll keep the strips straight. Not. And so I can't think of anything I was doing wrong. I didn't pin them. I just ran them through, and it was turning into the letter C. So I took every other one apart, sewed it from the opposite end. Let me see if you can tell they're still. I cleaned last week. I did, didn't I? When my son came. There we go. Thank you, Debbie. I love your way of thinking. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's still a little, it wants to curve down this end. So I wanted to show you, what do you do? Because I thought this might be good with everything coming up. And I am not going to have this curved by even tomorrow noon. I am going to have this worked out. So now what you do is this, got too many things on my ironing board. So let me move some things real quickly, move my iron back. Because we took a piece of plywood that's like 24 by 65 and covered it with cotton batting and then this Teflon coating. And I love this thing. It's on top of a dresser. Do you see how this is curving? And I'm not sure why. Let me see if this right here, it's really the last 5 rows. So I'll show you what I do. I'm the boss of my quilt. So I'm going to show you what I do to get this straighter. And it might not be perfect, and that's okay, because we're going to cut it in crosswise strips. So at least, but every step of the way, I'm trying very hard to do a good job keeping it as accurate as possible. But let me show one more time. I'll pull this. Do you see how these are wanting to kind of curve? Like a gentle wave at the beach. Well, it's not what I want. So what I'm going to do is come in here, and I'm going to spray the whole thing liberally with water. Just good old water. Now, I'm not going straight to starch. I will go to starch, but not yet. The reason I'm using water, I want to relax the fiber. Hello, Kelly. And I want to let the fibers relax, and water does that. And then I'm going to come, and I know these want to curve. So for whatever reason, they're pulling up. They're trying to get tight. So I'm going to come here, and the ones that are curving, I'm going to stretch them back out. Okay? Just make them remember that they didn't used to be curved. All right. So just that stretching out, let me show you. Just that stretching out did a lot of good. So now, let me get my camera way up here. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I've let the water sink in. And let's say you had other things to do. Well, then I would miss the whole thing, fold it, and fold it into a nice small package to let that fabric absorb all the moisture. Then what you want to do is put one edge along a straight edge. Okay? So this outside edge is along the straight edge. Now, what I'm going to do next is iron straight across. I'm not going to go up and down right now. I'm going to go straight across, because if I go up and down, it's going to try to sneak back into that curve. And I've already got the seam allowances going the right direction. So see what I'm doing? I'm keep holding with my little tippy toe fingers. I'm holding this edge and running a hot iron straight across. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, normally we do our live streams on Thursday, but I got my Shingrix shot this week and I had a migraine yesterday. And I thought, I can get in front of the camera, but I probably wouldn't be able to talk because my head felt like it was stuffed with cotton and hurt. So, okay, so see what I'm doing? I've already got the seam allowances. Okay, one more thing. Here's my first strip. I sewed my second strip on. I ironed the seam allowance towards the even numbered strip. Then so I sewed this pair, this pair, this pair, this pair, and this pair. Then when I sewed the two pairs together, since it was sewing on an odd number, I ironed the seams the opposite way. So remember that, because I'll show you why in just a moment. But do you see what I'm doing? I'm coming across. I've already stretched the strips that are curving, because what they were doing is trying to shrink up funny. Now I go across like this. And do you see how much less of a curve there is? Much, much better. Now let me finish off up this end. Now, if your curve is still giving you a little bit of a fit, then do it a second time. And you can even mist your quilt and put it in a Ziploc storage bag so that it really stays damp all the way through the seam allowances and everything. All right. So now I can just gently come down this way. But this is the end that was curving, and this is the end I'm focusing on. And now let me bring this back over. And you can always, like I said, you can always do it again if you think it's still acting up. But it is much, much better. For whatever reason, it starts at the brown fabric, and the brown fabric wants to shrink up a little. Now, I'm not sure. I might have accidentally put a little tension when I was sewing that strip. But if I wanted to, I could come back. Well, I can do this without wetting it, but it's more receptive if it's damp. And then when I think it looks pretty darn good, I'm going to starch it, because starch is my new best friend. So I want to take time, and I'm going to lay this on, get it to the edge, get one of my long rulers, and I'm going to measure across. If it looks good, then I starch it. So just make sure. I took that walking foot off my machine because I said I can't count on it, and it's faster to sew without it. And so I took the walking foot off the machine, and I'm back to the good old sew one strip from top to bottom, sew the next one from bottom to top, and that will help even out those curves, because yep, with having feed dogs, and the feed dogs are feeding the bottom fabric, and your hands are just trying to manage the top fabric and keep the seam edges, sometimes it does get a little pulled. So try not to pull it. Also, to really help you prevent curving, pin. I know we all hate to pin, but we're just going to have to do it. And, you know, the few minutes of extra time it takes to pin with this mean you're going to have a much nicer quilt. This is a quilt. The class we're starting Monday, the Bargello. Every bit of accuracy you can manage helps. It's an easy process, but just since it's easy, take the extra energy to get each step right. Cut accurately, sew accurately. If you don't have a 1/4 inch seam allowance, that's okay. Just keep it the same. So what, like I've told you before, pick one sewing machine and sew the whole project on that sewing machine, because each sewing machine has a slightly different 1/4 inch. Just the way they are. So, all right, let's pull out our Triptych and get busy on that. And, okay, here we go. Oh, Alexis, yes. Oh, is Alexis here? Yeah. Hi, Alexis, sweetheart. Wow. Oh, you love my necklace. Thank you. It's these beads. I think I got them from either Michael's or Joann's, and I love them. It says composite stone, and that reminds me of a quilt, so I got them. I love making my own necklaces if I can. All right, here we are. This was our Earth, Wind, and Fire scene. Let me put this on my board here. And then don't forget, we have free patterns. And here was my pattern that I did some coloring in and used this to draw on the Steam-A-Seam too, so I could cut out the exact pieces. And let me grab, oh boy, I shoved a lot of stuff down there. Okay, so I'm going to put this just to the side. The biggest problem I have with this is all the little colors of fabric, all the pieces of the little pieces of Steam-A-Seam too, because I don't waste a single bit. I use the smallest one. And today I forget what I was doing, but a little piece stuck to my finger, and I made myself throw that away. That was hard to do. But here I like showing you some of the fabrics that I treasure when I'm doing a landscape. Anything that has movement, it has color movement. Love batiks. They're wonderful. Look at this. I mean, look at all the different colors and the lights and darks you get. I mean, when you look at that is our scene. Then here, this was I'm trying to remember the name of this, but I love that fabric. It's Anthology. It's Anthology. Then you could even use a crackle fabric, one with swirls. I love it all. But if it has extra dimension, if it has extra texture, then that is my fabric. Oh, this is upside down, so let me turn it around. I've just got it on a piece of old mistake pattern. So the fabric's going to be covered up, so I just reused something that had a mistake on it. And I tell you what, save your scraps. Landscaping is a great user of little scraps. And I save all of this little stuff until I'm done, because sometimes you just need a little tiny piece of something. And So why cut up a new piece of fabric? Now, do throw away, constantly throw away pieces that you know you're not going to use, like these. Now, if you were going to do confetti leaves, then you'd use these. But try to keep your work area a little cleaned up. The paper backing that you no longer need, get rid of that. Okay, this is for the water. But try to keep your work site tidy. And the main thing is be careful with the paper backing from the steam-a-seam. It is so slippery. It's non-stick, and if it falls on the floor and you step on it, you will know. You will go sliding. All right, so here I'm getting farther and farther. Oh, good, Denise. I'm glad you're getting into a groove. Hi, Catherine. Oh, it's so good to see you. She's another new person that's been writing to me. So, if I say I'm going to send you an invitation to the group and you don't get it, please let me know, because sometimes they go to your junk mail, email, or just kind of get lost. I'm just looking right here, and here's a piece of the steam-a-seam that came off the correct fabric and stuck here. So that's not going to help. I will throw that away. Now, I have to tell you that when I was doing the stitching on that flower, I got really sick of the gummy needles. And I know you can get some of the needles that aren't as sticky, and I've tried them, but I do hate doing thread painting and raw edge applique stitching through the steam-a-seam. So there's a part of me that just likes to go back. The needles get so gummy, it's like pop, pop, pop. It makes terrible noise. And let me see which one of these I can turn off to make it brighter. So it's the overhead that's giving me a fit. I will turn the overhead off. I don't like when this thing gets darker and darker and darker. Let me pull this light back over. There we go. All right. So I show you different ways that people have had success doing this. And steam-a-seam too, and those it's awfully nice because it's too sticky on two sides. So you can pull off the paper each way depending on if you want a mirror image or you don't have a mirror image. And you can take your fingernail and kind of grab the sticky and make it stick on the other side of the paper. So I like all of that. And when you do get it on your fabric, you can stick it and then move it. Before you iron it, it's very easy to move around. So, I don't know how sometimes some of these little scraps get stuck. So be careful. But anyway, I keep either white glue, or I do love a good tacky glue because it sticks so much faster than white glue. If you're not careful, white glue, it'll just pop right back up. So here's another. Some of these little scraps of white are perfect for my waves. So, all right. So this is what I've got. Here is the pattern that you can see. And I marked in dark black on the pattern and wrote YB, and that means yellow brown. Then this B is brown. I made my own little kind of what color I thought I wanted where. Then I took a light box, or you can use a window that you tape this onto, and you trace your fusible. And so here is how it looks when you've got the whole pattern. And then you cut out piece by piece. It's so important to have this pattern because when I came in today and put this big piece of fabric on, I covered up all the definition here. But what I can do is come right back over here and see what I was doing and then put it all in the right place. So I like the realism it gives. I tend to be a person who's very heavy-handed with the colors, very heavy-handed with how I put them in place. So like here, I'm just going to cut this piece and glue it in over here, tuck it under all of these things. In fact, I'll show you. I'll just go ahead and do that. But I was looking at the edge of this, and you can just see a lot of dark. And that tells me, because I only like so much little tiny stuff, it tells me that I can just come in here, tear this piece of fabric, and I'm going to, now if I wanted to, I could easily cut a piece of steam-a-seam to put this on. But what I would rather do is just come in here with my glue. Well, let me grab another one. I say this every week, but I really need to empty out my glue, find what bottles are empty or mostly empty, and just keep my full ones on. But I just tap, tap, tap little glue dots, and then I'm going to take it up here and lift all my edges like this, and come put this right in here. Okay. And somewhere along here is going to be the edge that I cut off. So let me pull this back. So see how easy that was to finish that part? And then if I think I'm not going to tuck anything else under, then I can go ahead and give it a light press. Now, when I'm all done with putting all my pieces in, then I will come back and I will really press it firmly. Now, I have another dark area, this down here. And so what I'm going to do now, let me see. I just grabbed the colors I thought I mostly was going to use. But for something different, I'm going to take and put this down there. So sometimes it helps to do these edges, these pieced edges, because it makes you feel like you're getting good progress done. And that's with something this fine. I'm sure Jody would say every once in a while you kind of feel like, gee whiz, I want to see real progress. So here's my glue again. Now I want to use the darkest side of this batik. Oh, it's that side. All right. So I come in here, do the dot, dot, dot thing again. Okay. Then I come, pull this back. Let's say you've pulled it back so much that the sticky's not working the best. No problem. What you do is then just grab your glue and go glue it in place. When you're all done putting all of the landscape pieces where you want them, see, I could just come along here, and even if you've got steam-a-seam, it's okay. You can just dab a little extra glue and get your iron, and the iron helps the glue to dry and stick that much faster. So I've always said, if you can cut up paper, construction paper with scissors, you can do a landscape. Very, very easy. All right. So now, and I love using, this is a leaf print, but this is great. You can fussy cut just where you want and like take away some of the burgundy, just cut in the light areas. and then it can become a funny. Oh, bye, Kelly. Take care, hon. Thank you. All right, now. Ooh, all right. That must have gotten, yeah, got a spot of glue on it. So I just peel that off. All right. Now, let's see where I'm going next. What I'm doing, this is supposed to be the goddess of fire and light, I guess you would say. So I've been working on her outfit and her hair, and I need another piece in here for her hair, but I need something just a wee bit darker. So this is what I've been using for her hair, but now I need something darker. So I will go to this because do you see the difference there? So it's just as easy as just cutting out. In fact, you know what? I can use it for her arm and her hair. I'm just going to come and cut a piece big enough to do this whole area. Let me see. I'm going to cut a piece where I can use a little bit of, she's got the back of her arm and her back coming down here. If I cut this right, I can use that dark line. I can use that. I wish it would show better, but there's a dark line on here that I can use to be the shadow on her back. So I'm going to come in here, put this, I think I'm going to go this way because I need it. I want it to go all the way under here. So I'll put it, because see, I've already got the top part of her arm up here. And now I'm going to come in like this. Now, this is where I like to have tailor's chalk. Now, if I just waited and used the pattern, I could do it. But you know me, I'm impatient. So I'm going to come in here, and this is going to be her arm. And then over to here is going to be more of her hair. And I can feel, I draw the line just a little past where I feel the ridge of that fabric, so I can tuck this behind that fabric. All right. I think this will do it. And if it's not enough, I'll cut another piece. It's that simple. Okay. So here's the arm. All right. And if you want to put two pieces up next to each other and you don't want it to look so pieced, you can take and just make a slightly curvy line so that when you put it there, it's less noticeable. Straight lines are very noticeable by the human eye. We do notice a lot of things like that. So I'm going to put this here. It's going to fit right there. And it's going to go back to here. So I'm going to come back. Let me finish trimming this. Cut back a little extra so I can tuck it in. And let's see. Then I'll come put some glue where this is going to be. All right. All right. Tuck it under here. Tuck it under here. Sometimes you have to pull up where you've already lightly tacked it down with the iron. But if you're careful, you can still pull that back up. Now, let me move this just, okay. That worked out fine. Let me do I have, yep. All right, so now I can come back, do a light tack iron of that. And so now I've got her body, the bottom of her arm. I need to put another little piece of her hair right here, but I want that lighter piece. because this, I her arm, let me see if I can pull her arm more forward. Her arm moved back. So let me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle. Oh, that's right. I did this. Okay. Let me get these back in the right order. All right. That's supposed to be a little closer to her head. Sometimes I have noticed that when I go to iron them, they shrink and pull back so then you can see that edge. So you may have to go back and fill it in or cut a new piece. Like right here where this thing goes across her arm, that has shrunk. So I'm going to grab another piece and cut it to fit there. And let me find something to do with this glue. Yes, I'm this cheap. I don't want to waste that little bit of glue. Okay, so I'm going to come up here, put this, and this piece, I'm going to peel back the other and put this right in. So I just peel this back. Then I'm going to get a touch of that glue, put it on the back of this, come put this in place. Up, up. And sometimes when you get it in place, you have to trim it because where you thought it would work just right, it doesn't. So there. Now I have fixed that, and you really can't tell. Try to tuck them under when you have to put an extra piece in. All right. And I need a little bit of this glue. I can see where I don't have everything in place. Put a little glue here. I have to be honest. Today, when I sat down to do this, I really wasn't in the mood. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes we just, this is one of the reasons I have over 100 UFOs, which are unfinished objects, because I do tend to get a little bored working on the same thing. And some people say, well, no, I make myself finish. But sometimes if I don't take a break and start on something else, I will just stop. So do what works best for you. I'd love to be able to say, oh, well, no, I'm very disciplined and all that, but I'm not. And you know what? I don't know if I have to be. I'm too hard on myself as it is. And I'm getting to the stage in life where when do I get to make the rules for myself? And I would say I should have been doing it all along. But anyway, do you see what we've got so far now? And I'll come back in much later and put what looks like a little bit of an eye here. And, it's supposed to be suggested that she is the fire and the light, but the way that we're making this and the way that the original was done, you can't tell what's real and what's not. And that is really cool. I do like that. All right. So now I think if anyone has any questions, good. Anne, you're very welcome to be here because I have more than that. And this is the land of the people who do their best. And we're not going to spend time beating ourselves up because, life is short. And you got to do what makes you happy. If you're not happy, why are you doing it? This is no longer sticky. So I'm going to get a little bit of glue and glue this back down. But now what I'm going to do is finish the part of her dress. That's going to be tricky. What did I do? Here it is. Here is the steam machine pattern. that I made of that area of her dress. And so let me cut this out, and then I will show you how I'm going to try to put this together. Okay. All right. And it's not supposed to really look like a dress. It's supposed to look like swirls that are acting like a dress. Okay. Now. All right. I've got a, looks like I have a different amount of space. So I know to make this a little wider, I'm going to go by this now instead of what I originally drew, because I've kind of done it willy and nilly. So what I need are several types of yellow. And let me show you again. Here is the printed page. Now, I have an original that is more clear with this. But what I do know I need are dark, medium, and light yellow. And guess what else? You know how it had swirls on her bodice? This already has swirls in it. That's cool. So I've got a light, I've got a medium, this medium, and a very bright one. And the very bright, once I get this bodice part put together, the very bright will come in along this edge. Okay. That's where the light is shining on her. And I'm going to get it so light that it definitely, you can see that light shining. So what I'm going to start with, this is how I put things together. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this out, make it a little wider. We already talked about that. Okay, make this a little wider. And because I want to be able to tuck it under the other pieces or tuck the other pieces under this. All right, so I'm going to build this on my darkest fabric. Okay. Then I did notice at the bottom of that, it would be nice to have, oh, this would look really, this might be pretty cool because there is a little touch of a darker fabric. And for right now, since I don't want to cut this up yet. So I'm just going to come in here with this little bit of leftover glue, and I'm going to put just this little bit of color right here. Here's my glue again. So I'm just going to peel it back, put just a drop. You can overdo these glues with the fabric too and make it very difficult for the needle to go through. So that's why you see me just using dots of the glue. All right. Now I'm doing this bodice, and it's going to have swirls, which this already has on it, but yellow, and dark yellow. So, ooh, this already has sticky on it. This I can make a big bright yellow swirl too. Okay. And this. So with this, now this is really, I'm getting down to the finicky, but that's just what makes me happy. So I'm going to cut this big swirl out here. You decide how busy you want these to be. This is your quilt, so you get to decide. I'm going to put this one right up here. Okay, I'm going to just push it down for now. It's got the Steam-A-Seam 2 on it. Then I need another one in the front, and I'm going to, oh, and what you can do? Sometimes you can use the back. It's even lighter than the front. So I'm going to do another, I'm going to peel, whoops. Yeah, I'll do this part. I'm going to cut this pattern part right here and make a swirl out of this. I take off the top paper since I didn't mirror image. I take off the top paper and put the Steam Seam 2 down on the back, which is the right side of this. See, I'm doing the right side because I want the back, which is so bright. All right. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rough cut it so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So now that I can see what I've got here, I'm going to come around, do another one of those swirls. Then I'm going to come back this way. I'm cutting out the inside of the swirl, and then I'll come back and do the outside of the swirl. And you can make her gown any way you want, and that nothing is wrong. It's all your take on it. So now I've got this part. So now I'm going to come and refine this just a wee bit. All right. Then I'm going to take this, making sure I've got the sticky on the fabric. You always have to make sure it comes off the paper. And then this one is going to go right here. Actually, it would look better no, I still think I'm doing it. Okay. I know what these are supposed to look like, but this is supposed to be the little bouble stuff. So, and then I need just a little piece of yellow going up the front here. So then I will put this right here. So see how you just kind of look at what the picture is showing you, and then look at your scraps of fabric, see what's there. This is going to fit in here. Then I need some more very bright yellow right here. This is where sometimes I will come in and use a scrap like this of the Steam Seam, put it on the back of the fabric, and then cut out my design. Or, like I say, I kind of ran out of energy to keep wanting to follow these little pattern pieces. But nothing said. You can use this all the way if you wish. And I'm just cutting a kind of squiggly line to go along the front of this. And okay. But it's all in what you see or if you want to follow the pattern or what the pattern tells you to do. And it's, to me, very, very easy. All right. I think this one. Now, sometimes with the Steam Seam, if I don't want to try to iron this, it's a small piece. If I just run my finger across the front, it'll be enough friction to make sure that the sticky goes to the fabric. And then when you peel it off, there it is. It's ready to go. So now this one is going to go right here. All right. I wish this is where I will come back with thread and do some thread painting, because this is all supposed to look very wispy and like barely there. Boy, it doesn't take long to start getting a lot of trash in your way. Okay, I'm going to get another section over here of the Steam 2. And I'm going to do something for the front of her dress. Peel off, put the sticky on what I consider the back of the fabric, like this. And then you can either draw backwards, or you could actually draw on the front of this very carefully with something like a steam erase pen or a little piece of chalk. Sometimes this sticky stuff sticks to my fingers. Anyway, okay. So now what I need to do is I need to do some little swoopy bits to show the light and the breeze going through here. And I think we're going to end up, this one will be the last thing that we do for this. I need it a little more swirly. Come in here. Right now. Then this would be good to come across right here. Now let me see how big I actually have to cut this, how small. All right, so this is going to come off here, going down. Okay. This part's going to come here. So let me cut off these corners, this whole side. All right, now I'm going to tuck this piece in, because I can always, once I have this in place, I can always come back and add more. This is just, I wanted to do some parts of this and then come put this in place. All right. Oh, here she is. I better turn this straight so I can see, get the, oh, I had the orientation a little wrong. Okay, hold on. Okay. Pull these back off for a moment until I get the orientation right. All right, here we go. Okay. That's pretty good. Right. Let me get my swirls put back on here. I'm glad I didn't iron this down, because I was looking at this a little sideways and I had the orientation wrong. But you know, let's say I messed this up and I had ironed everything down and it was wrong, it was messed up. Then guess what? You just go back, put just a little touch more fabric in place. In fact, I've got a little area where the fabric didn't go down. I cut it off a little too short. So I'll come in, put a little touch of glue. This is called collage landscape, and it's just a matter of cutting little pieces and making them fit. And And then when you stitch over it with invisible monopoly thread, it'll stitch everything down firmly. And then you can even do some of, nice. Good, good, good. Okay. Okay. Right. Now get the booby jigglers on. Okay. Put this one back in place. Okay. Put this one up a little higher. All right. And then these are supposed to just look like little bits of light and form. All right. And I think I'm going to do this here. All right. So come in now. Just do it in place. Need a little touch more glue. Whoops. Didn't have the lid on there, so it's real easy to get. All right. Making sure that the dress is glued down and attached, and the pieces are attached correctly. Whoops. This goes this way. All right. A little touch of glue here. All right. So now I'll hold it up and let you see. Let me get the cap on my glue. I'll hold this up, let you see what we've done, what we've gotten done this week. Now, so far as Thursday nights, I have at least 2 more weeks on this, and then I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Handle, take care of. Okay, so I'm hoping you're able to start to see the form of her come through. And I started with her because it's a little, she's more complicated than the rest of the sky and the water. Sometimes if I get the hard thing out of the way first, let me get my light back here. If I get the hard things out of the way first, then I'm more likely to finish the other stuff. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And until I stitch everything down, and maybe even after that, it's all negotiable. So I'm going to put the inspiration beside it, turn this, and let you see. It's coming together. One thing I did was added more in the way of real flames down in here. Whoops, let me pull it up a little. I added what looks like more real flames. She didn't really have the flames there, but since one of our Bettys wanted Earth, Wind, and Fire, I wanted to make sure I had some of the fire. So I think this is really cool. And I've got a little bit to finish up in here. Then I'm going to move into the mountains. I'm going to move to the wind god. He's kind of drawn in here loosely. He's really just supposed to. These creatures are mythical, but are they? Whoops. Hold on. I'm having a little trouble here. Are these mythical or are they real? It's going to leave you with that kind of feeling. And so I've got some more mountains, some more choppy waters, and the wind over here. So But this is going to be easier. Bigger pieces, less tiny little stuff. So this is challenging. But as Jody said, and Jody is our resident expert, she is brilliant at this. As Jody said, make it as busy or as calm as you wish, because this is yours. And I at least know on a smaller basis, I can be right busy because that was a lot of pieces. You know what would be fun? I've always wanted to keep a diary of the things I create. It'd be fun to count all the little tiny pieces of fabric and see. It's a cinch by the inch. That's amazing, Anne. Way to go. So anyway, it's a lot of detail, but it's using scraps. It's perfect on these hot summer days. I mean, what else are you going to do, right? You can stay in with the air conditioning and a fan blowing on you, and you can cut all these little finicky little pieces of fabric. So thank you for spending this time with me. Tomorrow at noon, we're going to do our practice class. And what I'm going to actually do is give you some of the early explanations, processes. I'm going to go through some of that with you. We're going to try to record it and see what do I do with the recording? So only the people that participated or who they choose to let see can see it. All right. I think, let me turn off my light so I don't forget. I think that does it for tonight. Thank you for giving me another night to get over my shots. And I had them both done in this arm. I learned I'm left-handed. Don't get shots in the left arm. Keep that arm available to use. All right, everybody, take good care of yourself. Denise, you are so thoughtful and supportive. Laura's here. Kathy Klein is here. Oh, I love seeing you people. So, and we'll do the run through on Jitsi and chat with each other. So anybody, even if you're not going to do the Bargello, come in and chat with us. Go to the group SciO site. I've got a big thing with your link to get in. If you aren't yet on our site, send me an email at OurTimeToQuilt@twc.com and I'll send you a link. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow and Sunday at 3 p.m. New York time. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you, Miss Marcia.